gets crazy, okay? Okay, don't judge me. So, me and her, we just start looking at each other, and I'm looking at her thinking, what does she have that I don't have? What does she look like? Is she prettier than I am? Is she smarter than I am? These are all the questions that we end up asking ourselves and beating ourselves up about. He found out that her and I were talking, and you could see the sheer panic in his face. You guys already know what time it is. It is story time. And obviously, by the title, you are already intrigued. This is a video on how I became friends with the other woman. So, hear me out. I'm not some crazy stalker, I promise. So, this story is wild, and I honestly am still very confused, I guess is the best word for it, as to why I even did this. But essentially, let's just jump into it because I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, so what happened was the guy that I liked ended up getting me a job basically at Abercrombie and Fitch. So the manager saw me and asked me to apply for an Abercrombie and Fitch application thing, and yeah, so basically that happened. And he actually encouraged me to, you know, go work with him and stuff, and I was super excited because he was so cute. And I just thought he was, I don't know, he's got like the most beautiful eyes, and we're still friends to this day, I promise. But I had a huge crush on him, and just, yeah, I absolutely love them Persian boys. I don't know what it is. They're like my kryptonite for some reason. So yeah, obviously Persian man. Anywho. So, we actually ended up going to the same work. We would work similar hours, so we'd get to flirt every now and then. So I just ended up getting, you know, closer and closer to him. And finally, we got to a point where it was past the friendship zone. Like, hey, we, you know, either something's gonna happen or it's not. Like, we're either gonna jump into it and see what happens, or we're just gonna let this go. Like, one or the other. You can't have both, honey. Oh, speaking of. So, essentially what happened was we were working together, and with that, we both made friends within our coworkers. So he ended up confiding in one of our coworkers who was a guy, and I honestly do not remember his name. I still remember what he looks like. Super adorable. I loved him to pieces. So he basically confided in him about an issue that he had with me. And I guess somehow word got around to one of my friends, and that friend automatically, that girl was on it. She told me the second she found out. So basically, what he had confided in this other guy about is how he was torn. And I didn't understand at first. I asked my friend, what do you mean torn? And she said, he can't decide between you or another girl. Oh, what? Excuse me? What? He's comparing us? Like we're a piece of fruit? Like, I'm an apple, she's an orange? What do you mean? As soon as I found this out, honestly, my heart sank because I really liked him. I really honestly liked him. And it was finally like he was getting to see who I really was. Because I know at first he did not like me or find me attractive at all whatsoever. Because the first time that we met, it was a disaster. I had no makeup, I had no skills, absolutely nothing. I was a child, okay? You cannot go into this as a child and expect anything. He was a few years older than me. I honestly don't even remember how old he was. I honestly don't even know how old he is now. But as soon as she told me that, my heart sank and I could not handle it. I have always been the type that is very strong, very independent. I don't need a man to complete me type of situation. So as soon as I heard that, instantly my own self was done. Zero feelings for him whatsoever. We are absolutely done here. There's nothing else here. If you can't choose me, if I'm not your number one, sorry, baby. You got to go. So obviously, as soon as I see him on Monday morning, I go up to him and he's got like a whole Persian table around him. I go to sit down and automatically this girl is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I don't know what triggered this in me, but they weren't even sitting close to each other. They were sitting across from each other and, you know, not really interacting with each other. But I just knew that this was the girl. This was the girl that he couldn't decide between me or her. And what's wild is that I didn't see the resemblance at first. It gets crazy. It gets crazy, okay? Okay, don't judge me. So me and her, we just start looking at each other and I'm looking at her thinking, you're absolutely gorgeous. There's absolutely no way he would have chosen me. Like, this is what I'm up against? God, I wouldn't even choose me. Goodness. Whew. She was the Persian version of me. We got to talking and we were literally the same person. It was wild. It was like talking to myself, basically. So she was about 5'8", tall, gorgeous woman. Meanwhile, I'm over here Humpty Dumpty looking. Oh, we dressed exactly the same. She was honestly the better pick. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna front with y'all. I would have chosen that girl. Like, I would have made out with her. She was just stunning all around, and I mean, no wonder he couldn't make up his mind. I mean, if there was really no competition, like, just choose her. I would choose her. So her and I get to talking, and we have so many things in common. We both are doing the same program. We're going into the same field. We dress the same. We have the same leather jacket. We have the same boots. Literally the same exact person. So basically, her and I just start talking and we hit it off immediately. And I asked for her number. I am normally never this friendly, but her and I just clicked. And I asked for her number. She gave me her number. We started talking, and he found out that her and I were talking, and you could see the sheer panic in his face. He caught us in the lunchroom talking, just her and I. And I feel that he knew something was going to happen, something was going to blow up, that we were going to find out about each other, even though I already knew. Like, I wasn't 100% sure, but I already knew. This girl, I mean, yeah, like, she obviously had a lot of admirers and all that good stuff, but basically her and I got to talking, and apparently he had told her about me, which honestly pisses me off to this day. Why would you tell someone that you're interested in about another person? He basically told her that I was going to kiss him for New Year's. That I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna go for it, but I was a shy little shrimp, alright? I was a little prude that never did anything. So yeah. I didn't end up doing it. I didn't kiss him, even though he obviously wanted me to. But anyways, so yeah, basically he tells her about me, and this shit gets wild. So apparently we start talking, and she knows about me too. Like, this is our third hangout, and she tells me about what he told her. And she just wants to know if I'm interested in him. And I start laughing. I start cracking up because, I mean, sure, I still had some residual feelings, but the thing about me is you're dead to me. Once you mess up, you're done. You're done for. I don't want anything to do with you like that. So I start laughing, and she starts laughing with me because she told me about the story, and I said no. I think he got the wrong impression, and he saw something that wasn't there, because I was not gonna kiss him. I was actually gonna go kiss someone else. So, and then I start talking to her about this guy from Abercrombie, and but yeah. So basically her and I both know that this guy is basically pinning us against each other. Like, okay, that's obviously not gonna work. So yeah. So her and I ended up becoming really good friends. We were together for months. She was honestly one of my closest and dearest friends. And then obviously stuff hit the fan, and we are no longer friends. So that was a very sad moment, but at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. I think her and I we were too similar to be that close of friends. I don't know. I think we could have made it work, but I don't know. Yeah, there was just too many variables in this equation. But yeah, so I basically went in with the intention of finding out who this girl is, what she does, what she likes, like, who is she? And what is it that she has that I don't have? But the thing is, we were the exact same person. What? Dude, you could have like flipped a coin. Literally exact same person. So yeah. This is the weirdest part though. We had the same exact like bust size. Obviously not the same height. This girl had like a solid 5 inches on me. Honestly, it felt like she was a fucking giant is what it felt like. I'm just over here being a Humpty Dumpty, and she's over here being a goddess, okay? But no, I'm kidding. Like, it's all good. We had lots of laughs afterwards, and him and I are still really good friends. And I think it's hilarious how he knew that we were going to find out about each other. And I honestly still see it, and I picture it, and I see the sheer panic on his face. He just turned white instantly. And if it wasn't for my good friend, we're gonna call her Ariel. If it wasn't for Ariel, then he would have bamboozled me. He would have kept me on the hook for another how many more months? Like, dude, stop. Why are you trying to play me like that? Oh, and the only reason that the guy told my friend is because he was trying to impress her, and he had a crush on her, so he was just trying to talk to her, and I guess somehow it ended up spilling that my guy was actually trying to choose between me and another girl. He was weighing his options, you know? That's just what players do. They just weigh their options. Like, which one? What can you offer me? Basically, type of situation. But I was a prude, so I wasn't gonna be offering up anything. No services, no handsies, nada. Okay? Zero, zip, sit. Okay? And I think it was a really funny scenario to be in, because I don't think many of us get to basically infiltrate the life of the other woman, you know? Like, what does this girl have that I don't have? All of us, that literally kills our brain. And we're just stuck with, hey, what does she have that I don't have? What does she look like? Is she prettier than I am? Is she smarter than I am? These are all the questions that we end up asking ourselves and beating ourselves up about. But then once you get to know her, dude, you're completely relatable. What? Oh, okay. You're me, is what it is. What? Okay. And honestly, she helped me through so much stuff, because we grew up together. That during that time we ended up growing really close to each other. I mean, how could we not? We just became so close. And then I ended up being her confidant. I ended up being her confidant and his confidant. But at the end of the day, it was either going to work out for them or it wasn't. And I genuinely was rooting for them, because you have to remember, as soon as I heard my friend tell me all of that information, I was out of it. I took myself completely out of the equation. I mean, regardless, it was zero competition in my eyes, you know? But yeah, that is the time when I befriended one of the other women. There was a lot of drama in that little love triangle, but that's gonna be a story for another day, y'all. Bye.